Welcome back. It's Tuesday. Let's check out our vendors today. We are starting in the Scholarium. We have bound affix script Empower, bound focus script Trauma, and bound signature script Thief's Swiftness. It's been requested that I not read these out. If you would prefer that I do, please say so in the comments. And let's head over to the Telvar Merchant. We've made our way into Imperial City Sewers. Let's see what the Telvar Merchant has. We are starting off strong with Solstice treasure maps. We got really excited a few weeks ago when the Solstice treasure maps were in the Infinite Archive for Archival Fortunes. Some people have more Telvar than Archival Fortunes though, so it's your turn. 6,000 Telvar for Solstice, which brings us Death Dancer, Full Belly Barricade, 3 Queens Wellspring, and Zanmir Genesis. But the real bonus here is that you get the chance for 13 different furnishing leads. If you're into housing, you know that if you dig a furnishing lead up 3 times and complete the codex, you can now buy that furnishing for gold from the achievement vendor. So a lot of people are looking for these Solstice treasure maps, which means this one could be a moneymaker. Now, this container is bound, but when we open it, the map itself is not. And this map, Solstice Treasure Map 6, is selling for between 35 and 44,000 gold, which I think is going to beat out Hikijo. Here we see that Hikijo, which is 5,000 Telvar, on PCNA is currently selling for about 17 to 21k. My personal Master Merchant average is 16.1. So I think the Solstice maps are a better moneymaker than Hikijo, if that is something you're interested in doing. All right, next we have our scripts. We have bound affix script Force, bound affix script Savagery and Prophecy, bound focus script Flame Damage, and bound signature script Anchorite's Potency. Next we have Fragment of the Vents. This is one of 6 pieces of the Puncture Lava Burst skill style. This one drops from High Isle and Galen Volcanic Vents. It is a guaranteed drop the first time you do one of those, but if you want to skip that, it's here for 5,000 Telvar. Okay, our leads this week, we have Ancestor Samite Undershirt, which is part of the Crypt Can Investments Mythic. This one drops from the final boss of the dungeon, Bal Sunar. So at 25,000 Telvar, if you are somebody that farms Telvar a lot, this is definitely worth it. And then Dovra Sabaton Guards, which is part of course, Dovra Sabatons. This one drops off of the final boss of Lair of Marslak. So 2 really, really good leads for Telvar, if you can afford them for sure. And then we have Necklace and Ring of Almalexia's Mercy and Necklace and Ring of the Harbinger. Let's see if I holds up to this one. And finally, let's see what Filer Ul has.
I hope you don't have your mind.
All right, we're starting off with Deadlands treasure maps. These aren't horrible again. They've held their value fairly well, probably due to the ancient Daedric motif chapter leads you can get from them. But otherwise, they give you Eye of the Grasp, Hexos' Word, and Kind Marcher's Cruelty. This could potentially be a moneymaker. I think minimum they're selling for 10 to 15,000 on PCNA. It's probably not your best moneymaker, but if you are swimming in Archival Fortunes, it is one way to turn it into gold, because everything else here is bound. Next up, we have Blueprint Solitude Game Warrior and the Wolf. This runs about 20 to 40k on PCNA, 35 to 40k on PCEU. Remember, these are bound, so this is not a moneymaker. Don't go buying 3 or 4 of these and try to sell the extras. You can only use this to save money, not to make money, unlike the map, which is not bound once you pull it out of the container. So please keep that in mind each week. These are bound, but not a bad deal if you don't have this one for yourself yet. We have bound affix script Evasion, bound affix script Magicka Steel, bound focus script Generate Ultimate, and bound signature script Anchorite's Cruelty for our scripts. We have bound style page and Kratos Behemoth Shoulder. Fairly simple looking shoulder. The shoulder will be available for sale from the Undaunted vendor whenever the Black Drake Villa mask is dropping, which is about a 4-day window. Shoulders are available for keys. I do think the one key at a time is the best way to get them. I think that's better than the Archival Fortunes method here. But if you're impatient, if you're afraid you'll miss it, if this is one of the few you're missing, or if you just don't run pledges all that much, it's absolutely here for 15,000 Archival Fortunes. Companion equipment jewelry. This is one of my favorite things to get for companions. I'm not a big fan of getting the gear. You are at the mercy of RNG. It's bound if you get something that you don't want. You can't get rid of it easily. But jewelry, you have a better chance of getting something you can use. So, all right, disgusting spoils. Consume 25 disgusting spoils to unlock the Scheming Skeever's achievement and the Malographic Skeever pet. This is an expensive way to get it. 75,000 Archival Fortunes if you bought them all this way. But if you're only missing a couple, not a bad idea. You do get these as a guaranteed drop, though, as you run your Infinite Archive dailies. So I would just do it that way. Our next pattern is Formula Telvanni Water Jug Fungal. Ranges from 10 to 20k on PCNA. Similar on PCEU. It's super cute. It's little. And it's here for 2,000 Archival Fortunes if you still need it. Remember, again, bound. Next up is our leads. Crimson Diamond is one of 5 pieces of Belharza's band. We have yet another dungeon lead, guys. This is the one that's found in Falkreath Hold in chess. So you have 2 chances each time you run the dungeon to get the lead. If you're working on your 2nd or 3rd copies, like some of us weird completionists are, that 2nd and 3rd does not like to drop very easily. So it's here if you need it. And then our next lead is Malakath's Brutal Mighty Loop. Of course, this is part of Malakath's Band of Brutality. This one is from the public dungeon in Hrothgar, Old Orsinium, from all the bosses. I've been trying to get my 2nd copy of the blacksmithing station that drops in Old Orsinium, so this one came easy to me just because I've been there a ton, but if you need it, it's here for 5,000 Archival Fortunes. Our books, we have Lord Hollowjack's Dream Realm. We have an article on how these books work. You need to have read the book out in the wild, that's called Eidetic Memory, in order to be able to buy it or for it to drop. This one normally drops from Scrivener's Hall. The drop rate, I think, is atrocious. The Eidetic Memory, though, the internet says it's in Alcair Castle in Stormhaven. I was not able to find it there, if I'm remembering right. I believe I had to read it at a friend's house. If that is you as well, on PCNA and EU, you can find it in my house. Just look for Span's Guildhall under Spantifical in House Tours. Next is Oath of the Keepers. This one drops from Infinite Archive. The Eidetic Memory is in Necrom Underway, and just a small little waterlogged looking book. Our third pattern is Wood Elf Bedding Padded, 15 to 20k on PCNA, 6 to 10k on PCEU. Next up, we have 6 House Pattern Bolt. This is one of 7 pieces of the 6th House Robes. This one drops out of Forgotten Wastes in Vardenfell. They're only about 800 to 1,000 gold if you buy them from traders. At 3,000 Archival Fortunes, considering all the other things that we see today that we can spend our Archival Fortunes on, I don't think this is it. I think I would spend gold or just go farm it, personally. And finally, we have Worm-Touched Soul Gem. Consume 25 Worm-Touched Soul Gems to unlock the Skill Stylist 2 Soul Trap achievement and the Soul Trap Worm Writhe skill style. This is 1,000 Archival Fortunes. It's also a public dungeon piece. This is the public dungeon in Eastern Solstice called Callanvale Gardens. Runs 11 to 14k on PCNA. So if you are struggling to finish out this skill style, it is here for you at 1,000 Archival Fortunes. All right, that's it. Let's go see what new gear is dropping this week. We just ran 2 arcs of Infinite Archive, and it looks like this week we have gear dropping from Cold Harbor. That includes Meridia's Blessed Armor, Prisoner's Rags, and Stygian, as well as from Solstice, which includes Death Dancer, Full Belly Barricade, 3 Queens Wellspring, and Zanmir Genesis. Remember, if you do not have the Content Pass, Solstice will not drop for you. Everything will come from Cold Harbor. All right, that's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.